Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, leaders proposing an immigration bill for the state defend its merits, while the top legislators in our Senate do their own version of Carpool Karaoke. And the Cats get ready to host Alabama. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome to Hey Kentucky on this Friday. Former Lexington City Councilman Kevin Stinnett alongside tonight. You got a shout out?
Shout out to everyone who had to work 40 hours this week.
I know,
and
right?
no days off. So we made it, though. It's Friday.
A 5-day work week. Whoa,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm going to advocate for a 4-day going forward.
I'm 100% behind you. All right, let's begin with the debate over the need for addressing sanctuary cities in Kentucky. Senate Republicans have made banning them their top issue for this year's session. But critics say the bill is a solution to a problem that doesn't exist because we have no sanctuary cities in the state. If the legislation passes, local police would be required to provide help if federal immigration officers ask for it. The bill also requires almost all public employees in the state to, quote, use their best efforts to support the enforcement of federal immigration law. The ACLU worries that could have serious consequences.
Public employees and employees of public agencies, that includes libraries, that includes colleges and universities, it includes medical providers, it includes child protective services, individuals that work in foster care. So are these really the folks that we want responsible for engaging in federal immigration enforcement, especially because of the risk that entails?
But the legislation sponsor, Senator Danny Carroll, calls the Senate Bill 1 the Federal Immigration Cooperation Act of 2020, and along with Attorney General Daniel Cameron, says it's a safety necessity here in Kentucky.
This bill is necessary to ensure that law enforcement can continue to carry on and carry out their sworn duties.
This bill is not a statement on immigration by any means. This is a statement on law enforcement and what the law will be within this Commonwealth when it comes to law enforcement's ability to cooperate.
Kevin, here's the one thing I will say. To me, personally, this is so far down on the list of things that we need to address in our state right now that I hate that it's issue number one. But, and there are no sanctuary cities currently. Do you think this changes much if this bill goes through?
You know, I don't think it'll change the status quo, but what I do think is, one, it is, you know, it's a shame we have to do this anyway, even talk about this or have this discussion when you said we have pensions and other things to worry about. But, you know, having said that, I think every law enforcement agency should cooperate with each other. Where does it go next? The DEA, are we not going to cooperate with them? But if ICE is doing a job, we should cooperate.
I don't think there's a lack of cooperation in there to begin with, but let's stay with politics. A Northern Kentucky congressman says local law enforcement leaders would be willing to go to jail rather than comply with state gun control laws they deem unconstitutional. Thomas Massey points to the case of a Colorado sheriff who has offered to put himself in his own jail rather than enforce the state's red flag law. Massey also tweeted about a packed Second Amendment sanctuary meeting in his home county, saying this grassroots movement feels even stronger than the Tea Party in 2010. Massey says the situation could end up being comparable to the jailing of Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis when she refused to sign same-sex marriage certificates in 2015. And Kevin, this is something that we're seeing come up now in several states, not just Kentucky, where there are sanctuary cities of a different sort, Second Amendment sanctuary cities.
Yeah, again, it's another issue that, why are we talking about this? This hasn't changed. Our Second Amendment rights are still intact. So why is this necessary? Why are we promoting this in our state?
I don't know. I also think if red flag laws are the law.
Yeah, and I think any constitutional officer should enforce the law. If you don't want to enforce the law, you can look for a new job.
There you go. All right. There's another update on one of former Governor Matt Bevin's controversial pardons and commutations. A new report suggests a Republican prosecutor who received money from a sex offender's relatives pitched the man's pardon. Dayton Jones is one of 4 men convicted of raping a 15-year-old in Christian County back in 2014. Bevin pardoned Jones after 3 years of his 15-year sentence. The Louisville Courier-Journal obtained a letter from Commonwealth's attorney Rick Bowling, which paints Jones as the victim of a political vendetta by Democratic prosecutors because his grandparents donated to Republicans, including Bowling. Bowling later told the newspaper he had no evidence to prove that, and he apologized for causing embarrassment. And Kevin, I will say Bowling's apology went way beyond that. He knows he screwed up big time in this.
He does, and that's sort of the unfortunate part of politics when it plays into people's lives and their jail sentences and outside influences, and I can go down the list. This is the result of that, and it's a shame that it happens now in our state.
I'm still befuddled by all of the pardons that went on, and that we're still having to deal with this. And Cameron's now asking the FBI to look into it. It's just insane to me.
It is, and let's hope the good that can come out of this is maybe give a little more structure to how these pardons happen, because this is not the first governor to do this. This is just the first one that has done in this fashion, this many.
Yeah. All right, the leaders of both parties in the Kentucky Senate decided to participate in their own version of Carpool Karaoke to discuss the big issues for 2020. Minority Floor Leader Morgan McGarvey and Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer appear in a new YouTube video for a series of exchanges about this year's legislative session. Here are a few clips.
There's some priorities we've got coming up. We certainly need more revenue this year. Obviously, there's some things that the Democrats definitely want to see in the budget. I'm hoping I can use this time to lobby you a little bit.
You know, Morgan, I know what your budget priorities are. I've got a little song for you here that I think you can't always get what you want.
Everybody in Kentucky wants to know if this is the year we finally get casino gaming.
I got a song for you. Here's what we think about casino gambling. In the words of Aerosmith, dream on, little brother.
Damon, come on, you're shooting down casino gaming. There's got to be something we can work together on. Criminal justice reform?
Why don't we just meet me in the middle?
Listen, I think this is just a sign of the fact that civility is returning to Frankfurt, hopefully.
Hopefully, but I think everyone in Frankfurt should have to do this with the other party. I think this is what we need more of. You're
Yes.
exactly right, because when there's a tough issue and you already had that civility and communication and can laugh at yourself, we take ourselves too serious. This is a great example of what needs to happen more in Frankfurt.
Absolutely. Damon Thayer, to me, always takes himself way too seriously. So I love that he was part of this.
I did too.
Even if he did the dream on and then
That's okay.
can't always get what you want, that's fine. He
They-
played along and it was fun.
He needs to lose the bat, so.